Hello everyone, I'm here today with a new process video. Today I am working on more photos from Canada, still in Quebec City here, but I'm on day 2. This was part of our morning where we were just walking the old streets and looking at beautiful things. As you can see, like these are very random photos. They're just of the streets that we viewed as we were walking, but everything was so gorgeous. I mean, look at that. I love it. So, as you can see, I had a different plan for what I went to here. And so I printed 2 of these, the other one's for a different layout, but I printed 2 4x4 squares. Now I have to fit it in a 4x6 pocket. So I will have to have a background of some kind there, which is fine. It just means that I have to make one because I'm not sure I have anything at the ready. And this picture is going to end up covering most of it anyway. So I might as well just build my own. And then down here, I have another 4x6 pocket. And that's the photo I want to use. Take a look at the street. I do already have this at the ready because it was a cobblestone street. So I want to make sure that that gets in there. Again, though, I need a card in the background. I would not be opposed to something that was ready-made where like I could use lines over here to journal. That would be awesome. However, if I found one that was more just a filler card and there was enough showing over here of a design that worked, I would do that too. It really depends on what I find. But this at least shows you what I'm starting with. So I think maybe I'll do this pocket because I feel like it'll be easier to find something for that one than it'll be to make this one. I have my Canada bin here and I know my pocket cards are in there. Don't need that right now. So I have 3x4s and 4x6s. Now you can see I think I only have like 4 4x6s, 3 or 4 in there. There's not a lot, so I'm not sure those are going to work. But I do have some papers here. Do these have anything on either side? Oh, can't use either of those sides. Not sure these will go. Maybe this, if I'm doing cobblestone. I'll keep that in mind. I do have other papers in there too. And then I knew I had thrown some of these in there because what I was thinking is that maybe the backgrounds would work. This because it was spring when we were there. I don't remember why with this one. I must have just thought the colors would match. But whatever's in here, I could potentially use those as well. And then, do I have other papers in here? And this. That would be hard to make a journaling card out of it though. Like no built-in lines for journaling, that's for sure. Oh, what is this? Oh, that's not the best because it says Arrival International. It's on this side. Nope, it wasn't a road trip. So we're just gonna, I was gonna throw it back in there, but you know what? No, it really should be in here with these. So I will package that all together when I'm done looking through them and make sure that gets back in the right place. In my Canada cards, here's one I might be able to use. This phrase means life is beautiful in French, and that definitely holds true here. I do have these greens happening. I could probably get away with that. I'd have to cut down this photo maybe. If I cut all the blue or most of the blue off, would it fit? That would take me to there. I can't cut off all the cobblestone because I want that because of my phrase. But I like the look of it. I'm not going to say no to it yet. Maybe I can make it work. These I also have now. This is red. There's certainly red in there, but I don't like the look of that with the rest of this. Certainly I won't use the flight. That doesn't really work there. So the rest of those are kind of out in terms of 4x6, but I'm going to open up these next and see what I find in here. Interestingly, in this package of stuff that I had, I must have already pulled the 4x6 cards out of there because there weren't any in there. I had all these 3x4s though, and clearly this was geared, like a lot towards Valentine's Day. In there was this. Now, I probably would not use this in any other capacity because I don't do family books anymore really. But I'm thinking about using it here. There is red in here. And I did absolutely love Quebec City. So it would not be a lie to say that. And I could even write down here like Quebec City underneath if I wanted to. But then what would I do with this? Would I overlap it? If I write something there, that's going to be weird. or would I use it up here instead? I mean, the best example is next to this photo, but I suppose I could do it here. This, you can tell, had been repaved, a little bit more modern, but cobblestone here underneath. It has to be a 4x6 pocket pretty much, because look, it's too long. And if I cut it here, that might look weird. You know what? Maybe I'll end up using it up top instead. You know what else I just noticed on this sheet? This. They match rather well. So whatever background I find, I'm thinking maybe it's going to have to be like a beige, very light tan or gray or something, so it's more of a neutral. But I could put that up here in the opposite corner, and then they kind of work together. I'm really feeling it. I like that a lot, so I think maybe that's what I'm going to end up doing. What I did here was I did write Quebec City on there. Awesome. What I did was I just took a random like 4x6 piece of paper I had and just used it to back this so that it would be sturdier in the pocket rather than having free floating in there. So that will go there. I may do something here, either stamping or something, because I've got some open sky there, which would be awesome. And then I still have to do it up top. I did grab out the rest of just my generic 4x6s to see if there was something I can use as backing for this. And I'm okay with not journaling, because actually I have like 3 more layouts coming that are just random like this, just stuff around the city that we saw and that looked beautiful. I could journal on any number of those. So I think maybe I'm not going to journal now. So that does open up what I can do up top. So really I just need something that's going to match this photo as well as the rest of this. Pretty neutral, I think. I think I have found my background piece. I had this in my gray scraps. It's a little bent, but it'll flatten out once I get it in the page protector, I'm sure. But it's a very light gray, so it's definitely neutral. I could still layer this, maybe off to the side, or actually, maybe it's better to do it this way. Move this over. Have that there. Oh shoot, but I wanted to use this. Well, maybe I could still do that. I could still maybe have those both there. And do I want anything here? Probably not. Because if I'm going to put something here, oh, then it's all on the left side. Maybe it is going to have to be on this side. And then I am going to stamp here, I think. Something in black. I don't know what. I actually just got, let me look here. I got a new stamp set not long ago and I haven't used any of it. I wonder if there's something here. Isn't there something about streets? Wandering the streets right there. Would that fit? It would right there. You know what? I'm using that stamp. It's decided. Since I have never used any of these stamps before, I do want to season it. So I have it on there. But then I just take a pencil eraser and rough it up a little bit. I don't remember where I originally saw this. I saw somebody else do it. It might have been Kelly Perky way, way back in the day. But there, just rough it up a little bit and then it'll hold the ink better. I'll still, you know, do a test run just to make sure that everything like stamps correctly, but at least that, you know, gets me started. I do have my StazOn ink here because I'm going to stamp on a photo and that's slick. So in order to avoid smearing, gotta go with the StazOn. All right. I did my test run, that looked good, so now I'm just inking up my stamp for the real thing. Make sure it's covered well, looks good. Here we go. And I will say the first time I ever use a stamp like this, it tends to stick to the photo. So I'm gonna hold it down while I peel it off. Oh, look at that. It's perfect. I love it. I do think this is how I'm gonna have to do this top pocket. Let me zoom in just a little bit here. There we go. Because I want this to be in the diagonal opposite corner of that card that says I love you. So really that's my only choice, which means I have to shift the photo this way and then also the phrase strip, because I've got a phrase on the left hand side already, the one I just stamped, so I don't want it to look too stacked, at least on this side. There is wording at the bottom right, but there's a photo in between here. So I think, yeah, I think this is the way to go. All right, so I have the photo and this little piece adhered. I do not have this on there yet. I'm gonna do that right now. Just wanna double check before I I stick it down that this is really where I want it. I can see this edge here when I cut it after I printed it, it's not totally even. So I'm gonna hang it off the edge a little bit and then I'll clip that off to make it even. So that's straight, oh, a little bit down to the left, I think. Whoops. Now I've moved it. I'm gonna press it down if it's not even. No. Now that looks too low. This is always the trick. I think that's pretty good. Yes, okay, so let's get rid of the uneven part at the end. And now it's good. And let's see here. I want a staple in there. There we go. You know, now I almost wish I had cut off a little bit more here. I'm gonna see if I can peel that up and just shorten that a little bit. All right, I trimmed that off, just like 1/8 of an inch, not a huge amount, but I do like that. And now if I do this, is that enough? I'm gonna pull back my camera a little bit. There we go, so I can hopefully get most of it in there. Is that, there we go, is that enough? Do I want something else? I feel like it's a little blank here, but what would I do there? I suppose maybe I could stamp something under here too. I almost feel like I shouldn't mess with it, like less is more. You know what, I'm gonna leave it. I always have the option to come back and add something if I want to. I'll live with it for a while and see, you know, does it bother me for any reason or can I live with it as is? I always have the right to change my mind. So there we go though. Here's another one done for Canada. Thanks for watching.